steamy scene between Poppy and Deacon promises to leave audiences on the edge of their seats, not only as a moment of passion, but also as the beginning of a series of tragedies. This relationship is notable not only for its daring, but also for the potential dangers that Poppy is facing when she clashes with Sheila. Sheila is not someone who easily accepts betrayal or loss, especially when it comes to the man she considers hers, Deacon. Viewers have learned that confrontations with Sheila rarely end well for the person opposite, and this time Poppy may become the next victim of Sheila's cruelty and aggression. Poppy should not get involved in a relationship with Deacon, who Sheila has always considered her own. This is almost a direct challenge to Sheila, and everyone knows that when Sheila is provoked, she will stop at nothing to regain what she believes is hers. A confrontation between two conflicted women, the outcome of which will inevitably favor Sheila, the one no one wants to confront. The potential danger from Sheila will inevitably surround Poppy like a storm, and when it hits, Poppy may not only lose Deacon, but also lose much more. Meanwhile, Poppy's past with Bill also plays an important role in this event. After a long and tumultuous period, Bill decided to kick Poppy out of his mansion. This marked the end of a relationship that was not only difficult, but also tumultuous between the two. Although Poppy had hoped for a future with Bill, Bill eventually could not continue to endure the troubles that this relationship brought. This shock caused Poppy to lose the only stability in her life, and instead of returning to her old town to start over, she decided to stay and find a new path for herself. After being kicked out of the mansion by Bill, Poppy faces new challenges. Her bold decision to not leave town, but instead find herself a new job and a new man, sends her into a new spiral. Deacon's restaurant, which has just reopened after the mysterious deaths of Tom and Hollis, becomes the ideal choice for her. Applying for a job here not only helps Poppy find a job to support her life, but also opens the door to a new relationship with Deacon. A surprising aspect is that Sheila agrees to take Poppy on at Deacon's restaurant, despite knowing about the developing relationship between Poppy and Deacon. This may stem from Sheila's empathy, as she has also experienced being abandoned and seen as a villain. Sheila, in a moment of weakness, may have seen herself in Poppy and given her a chance. However, this will be a serious mistake. Sheila does not know that by bringing Poppy into her world, she is creating a conflict that she cannot control. Poppy will not only be an enemy in this emotional war, but also a factor that pushes Sheila to the brink of destruction. The next events of The Bold and the Beautiful promise to bring many unexpected twists. The confrontation between Sheila and Poppy will be the main highlight, with the possibility of leading to unforeseen consequences for all the characters involved. Can Poppy escape Sheila's blade, or will she become another victim of this woman? Sheila was extremely shocked when she entered the room and encountered the horrifying scene, Poppy and Deacon making love right in front of her. This scene was like a knife stabbing straight into Sheila's pride and domineering ownership of Deacon. In that moment, all her calmness collapsed to give way to hysterical anger. "What is going on?" Sheila's scream echoed in the room, full of anger and pain. These words were not simply a question, but a declaration of war against both Deacon and Poppy, the two people who dared to betray her trust. Deacon was surprised when Sheila found out, knowing that there was no way to hide the truth. He admitted that the secret relationship with Poppy had lasted for a while. Under Sheila's angry eyes, Deacon tried to explain that it all started with intimate glances and gestures during work together. Poppy, with her charm and charisma, made Deacon shake and could not resist this attraction. He admitted that he was weak and made a mistake in letting this relationship go this far, but for Sheila, these confessions were like salt rubbed into a bleeding wound. She did not want and could not listen to any more explanations. Anger had completely overwhelmed her reason. In a moment, Sheila's eyes darkened, filled with hatred and hysteria. She stepped forward without hesitation, grabbed Poppy's hair, and brutally slammed her head against the wall. The loud crash stunned Deacon. He tried to stop her, but was completely helpless against Sheila's unquenchable rage. Poppy was in pain and tried to fight back, but Sheila did not stop. She kept screaming, criticizing, and accusing Poppy of breaking her relationship with Deacon. Sheila's anger was no longer the disappointment of broken relationship, but the rage of a betrayed person that led her to inhumane actions. Despite Deacon's pleas, Sheila continued to smash Poppy's head against the wall. Each collision was a time when Poppy lost strength, until her body became limp and completely unable to resist. Blood began to flow from the wound on Poppy's head, each drop of crimson as a sign of life slowly leaving her. Only when Sheila realized that Poppy had stopped moving did she stop. But it was too late. Poppy had died in Sheila's uncontrolled rage. This was no longer just a romantic conflict. Sheila had actually killed someone. The moment Deacon saw Poppy's lifeless body, he couldn't believe his eyes. He was shocked. Deacon was completely numb to the fact that the woman he had just betrayed and loved had been murdered right in front of him. However, instead of calling the police and reporting the incident, Deacon and Sheila made a horrifying decision. They would dispose of Poppy's body to hide the crime. This decision was not only a calculated act, but also reflected the helplessness and fear of both when facing the consequences of their actions. Hiding a murder would create a huge psychological burden for both Sheila and Deacon. They not only had to face the haunting of Poppy's death, but also had to live in fear that this secret would soon be discovered. Furthermore, this decision also shows that Deacon, despite initially intending to protect Poppy, ultimately chose to be an accomplice to Sheila. This puts both of them in danger and pushes their relationship to a dead end. The incident will push both Sheila and Deacon into complex and risky psychological developments. Poppy's death is not only a tragic event, but also a major turning point for the relationships between the characters. Can Deacon live with the guilt of letting Poppy die? What will Sheila do to cover up her crime, and will she face legal punishment? These questions will open up new conflicts in the upcoming episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful.